Hello, this is Dr. Pallavi Gupta. Good morning to all of you. Today I will discuss part 2 regarding professional liability of doctors under transplantation of human organs and tissues act. Today I will discuss there are certain situations where the removal or transplantation of human organs or tissues are not permitted, the types of donors, the organs which can be donated, and what is the procedure for removal of human organs and tissues. Under section 19, it is mentioned that there are certain positions when the removal of the human organ and tissues cannot be permitted unless and until the certain procedure has been followed. Section 9. Section 9 says that no human organ or tissue or both removed from the body of a donor before his death shall be transplanted into recipient unless the donor is a near relative of the recipient, meaning thereby there is a need to be a near relative relationship between the donor and recipient. Even if the organs and tissues has been removed, it will not be transplant unless and until there is a relationship between the donor and recipient. This is section 9 subclause 1. Section 9 subclause 1a is talking about what shall be the situation when the donor or recipients are foreign nationals. Subclause 1 says that where the donor or recipient being near relative is a foreign national, prior approval of the authorization committee shall be required before removing or transplanting human organs or tissue or both. Means if donor or recipients are foreign nationals, in that case the removal of the organs as well as transplantation of the organ will be permitted only after the approval of authorization committee. But the authorization committee shall not approve such removal or transplantation if the recipient is a foreign national and the donor is a Indian national and there is no relation. Means the removal of the organs and tissues and their transplantation will be permitted if there is a relationship. Now section 9 subclause 1b says in case of minor whether removal of the organ is permitted or not. It says no human organs or tissues or both shall be removed from the body of a minor before his death for the purpose of transplantation except in the manner as may prescribe, meaning thereby if if a minor is died, in that case the parents of the minor can donate the organs of the from the body of the minor and for the transplantation can be permitted. In case if the minor is living, it is not permitted. So there is a restriction from the donation of the organ from the body of the minor, even if it is a living man, and it cannot be permitted by the parents. After the death of the minor, it is permitted. In case of mentally challenged person, section 9 subclause 1c, it shall be 1c, it's not 1b. In case of mentally challenged person, no human organ or tissues or both shall be removed from the body of a mentally challenged person before his death for the purpose of transplantation. Mentally challenged person. In this case also, the removal of the organs is not permitted, or the transplantation of the removed organ it is not permitted in his lifetime, but after the death of the mentally challenged person it is permitted. Here the question comes, who is the mentally challenged person? It includes, for this section, it includes a person who is mental sick or mental retardation. Mental illness or mental sickness include dementia, schizophrenia, and other mental conditions that makes a person intellectually disabled. Mental retardation. Mental retardation shall have the same meaning as assigned to section 2 subclass R of the Person with Disabilities Act 1995. So meaning thereby, in case of mentally challenged person, the restriction is that in the life of the mental challenged person, the removal of the organs or the tissues it is not permitted. Transplantation of the removed organs it is not permitted, but after the death of the mentally challenged person it can be permitted. Section 9 subclause 2 is talking about in case of need, removal and transplantation of the organ and tissues allowed. Where any donor authorizes the removal of any of his human organs or tissues or both after his death under section 3 subclause 2, or any person competent or empowered to give authority for the removal of any human organs or tissue or both from the body of any deceased person authorizes such removal, or human organ or tissue or both may be removed or transplanted into the body of any recipient who may be in need of such human organ or tissue or both. Means the person who is needing the transplantation of organ or tissue, that means the person who is in need of the organ or tissues from the other person. In that case the organ or tissues which are removed from a deceased person can be given to the other person, whether there is a relation or not. Means in this case there is no need of near relativeness. Here a person who means a donor has authorized in his lifetime to remove the organ or tissues or both from his body after his death. In that case, and in that case there is a written permission also, uh, and it is and this consent has been given in the presence of their some witnesses, in which one relative is there, near relative is there. In that case the organs of that person may be transplanted transplanted transplant in that other person who is in need. So this is a situation when there is a need, when a person is in need of organ. In that case the organs may be transplanted. Section 9 subclause 3, removal of organ or tissue in case of love and affection only, but not relative. Although this act says that the removal of the organ or tissue is permitted and its transplantation is permitted only in case of a near relative situation, but there are certain situations when the donor can donate its organ or tissue to the person who is with whom he is having a love and affection, although that person is not a real near relative person. So section 9 subclause 3 says, if any donor authorizes the removal of any of his human organ or tissue or both before his death under section 3 subclause 1 for transplantation into the body of such recipient who is not a near relative but donor has affection or attachment towards the recipient or for any other special reason such human organ or tissue or both shall not be removed and transplanted without the prior approval of the authorization committee. Meaning thereby when the donor donate his organ or tissue to the donee or to the recipient who is not a near relative but the donor is having a love and affection, transplantation is permitted but only with the permission of authorization committee. Jaswinder, in the case of just there are certain cases which has been taken up um, the case of section 9 because there was a issue that there such kind of donation of the organs are is maybe a nature of commercial. So, in the case of Jaswinder Singh versus State of Punjab 2008, where the donor knows the recipient as they have visiting terms in the family and it is because of the sheer love and affection and humanitarian consideration the kidney is being donated by the donor, and it has been made clear by the senior superintendent of the police that kidney is being donated by the donor without any fear or out of his own free will. Denial of approval on the ground of a mere suspicion that some money consideration is involved is not proper. And in the second case, Kuldeep Singh versus State of Tamil Nadu, AIR 2005, it was held that where the donor is not a near relative as defined under under this act, the situation is covered by section 3 subsection 3 of section 9 whether there exists any affection or attachment or special reason, and this is within the special knowledge of the applicants. A heavy burden lies on them to establish it. Several relevant factors like relationship, if any, need not to near relationship for which different consideration have been provided for. Period of acquaintance, degree of association, reciprocity of feeling, gratitude, and similar human factors and bonds can throw light on the issue. Meaning thereby, when there is no near relationship between the donor and the recipient, only there is a situation of love and affection. In that case, it is sufficient if there is a degree of association, if there is a reciprocity of the feeling, gratitude, and other and such and some bonding is there, it is sufficient to prove that there is a love and affection. Since further it is held, since the object of the uh, act is to rule out commercial dealing, it would be desirable to require the donor and recipient to give details of their financial position and vocation. In the another case, C. Sheshadri versus State of Telangana. Uh, in this case, the donation was done by the cousin, where the cousin of the recipient, out of sheer love and affection, and without there being any pressure or monetary or commercial transaction, is intending to donate the kidney, and as per the medical record, the condition of the recipient is critical. Economic disparity of the donor cannot be ground for rejection of the approval. Where the recipient is in need of the organ and his cousin is donating his organ or tissues, in that case it will not be relevant to consider that the economic condition of the recipient is poor. And the another case, Praveen Begum and another versus appellant authority in 2012. It was held that a donor who is not a near relative of the recipient may be reason of affection or attachment towards the recipient or for any other special reasons. The donor authorizes the removal of his organ or tissue for transplantation in a recipient for therapeutic reasons. The, the caveat is that in such situation, prior approval before removal and transplantation would be required of the authorization committee. It's mandatory in such situations where there is no real relations between the donor and recipient. Approval of the appropriate authority is required. It cannot be ignored. It is not permitted if there is no relationship and approval is not there. And in the next case, Mukesh Gandhi versus Deputy Secretary Health, Medical Education and Research. In this case, it is laid down that if the donor is other than a near relative, in that case, prior to the removal of the human organ and transplantation thereof, prior approval of the authorization committee is required in cases where the donor is other than a near relative and the permission is to be applied under section 9 subclause 3. The application is required to be made in the form of 10, and such application has to be joint application, and the said aspect is to be apparent from subsection 5 of section 9 of the act. So it is necessary that the procedure has to followed if there is no relation for the donation of the organ and transplantation of the organ. The procedure which is laid down in this act has to followed. Section 9 subclause 3A. It says there are certain exceptions for the transplantation of the organ or tissue. Or in other way we can say there are certain conditions where when the donor and recipient are not biologically matched. For example, there is no matching of the blood group of the donor and recipient. In that case, whether how the transplantation shall be made. Section 9 subclause 3A says where any donor has agreed to make a donation of his human organ or tissue before his death to a recipient who is his near relative, but such donor is not well matched biologically as a donor for the recipient. And second situation, the second donor has agreed to make a donation of his human organ or tissue before his death to such recipient who is his near relative, but such donor is not well matched biologically as a donor for such recipient. Meaning thereby there are two donor and there are two recipient. Donor 1 and donor 2. Donor 1 want to give his or to remove or to donate his organ to his near relative after his death, and second donor also want to give his honor or organ or tissue to his near relative, but the donor and recipient are not well matched biologically. In that case, how the transplantation shall be made? The first donor, in that case, the first donor who is well matched biologically as a donor for the second recipient, and the second donor is biologically well matched as a donor of the human organ or tissue for the first recipient. Both, in that case, both donor and the both recipient in a group of the donor and recipient shall enter into a single agreement to donate and receive such human organ or tissue or both according to such biologically compatibility in the group. Meaning thereby both the donor and both the recipient will make an agreement for the cross transplantation of the human organs and tissues where their where they are well matched biologically. The removal and transplantation of human organ or tissue or both as per the agreement shall not be done without prior approval of the authorization committee. Here it is very categorically mentioned that where the donor and recipient are not biologically well matched, in that case the approval of the authorization committee is required if the donor or to donor and to recipient wants to swap their donation to swap their organs for the transplantation. In that case approval of the authorization committee is required. It cannot be done without the prior approval of the authorization committee. And what is the procedure to get the approval? Section 9 subclause 4 says the authorization committee shall be constituted. The composition of authorization committee shall be constituted by the central government. If there is a case of state government, the state government and the union territory shall also constitute one or more authorization committee. Under section 9 subclause 5, donor and recipient, both the donor and both the recipient shall make a joint application to the authorization committee, and authorization committee shall hold an inquiry, and after satisfying itself that the application has complied with all the requirements of the act, the authorization committee will grant the approval for the removal and transplantation of the human organ. But in any case, even after the giving the approval or after the inquiry, the authorization committee satisfied that the application have not complied with the requirement of the act or the procedure of the act, it shall reject the application for approval. Section 9 is talking about the organs or tissues may be removed, it may be transplanted to the donee or the recipient, but there are certain restrictions. Restriction is that the approval of the appropriate authority or authorization committee is required, because the removal of the organs and its transplantation is permitted only in near relative persons only. If the recipient or the donor are not near relative person, in that case approval of the authorization committee and appropriate authority is required. Now the types of donor. There are broadly two types of donor: living donor or deceased donor. Living donor can be divided as a spousal donor, swap donor, other than near relative donor, donor or recipient from other state, foreign donor, donation of organs by pledge. As we have already discussed in part 1, that near related donors include parents, siblings and children, grandparents, granddaughter, grandson. It is further said there should be documentary evidence of relationship. For example, birth certificate, relationship certificate issued by Tahsildar or Metropolitan Magistrate, etc. And documentary evidence of identity and residence of proposed donor, voter ID card, and family photograph depicting the proposed donor and the proposed recipient along with another near relative if the relationship is not conclusively established. After evaluating the above evidence, this is required. For this purpose, the forms required to be filled in living donation include Form 1 for the donor consent, Form 4 for the donor fitness, Form 11 which is joint application, and the committee permission which is given as per the format given in Form 18. Swap donor, that we have already discussed right now. This is permitted when the donor and recipient are not well matched biologically. In that case, how the transplantation shall be made. It is also included in the amendment in 2014 that in the rules, swap donation means if in a family you have a donor and recipient, you are near you have to be near related, but their blood group is incompatible, means it is not matched. For example, the first donor is A positive and the recipient is B positive, and in another family number 2, the donor is B positive while the recipient is A positive. The donor of the family member 1 can donate recipient 2 and the donor 2 can donate to recipient 1. This can help to increase the donor pool. Swap transplantation should be carried out simultaneously so there is no donor reneging. Donor reneging means that one of the donors backs out from the donation. Furthermore, the donor and recipient pair in a family should be near related. This is the swap donor which is under section 9 subclause 3 subclause 8. The spousal donor. Spousal transplantation are also considered as near relative transplant, where the proposed transplant is between a married couple. Documents such as marriage certificate and marriage photograph, along with the information on the number and age of the children and a family photograph depicting the entire family and birth certificate of the children containing the particulars of the parents is required. For the spousal donor, the forms required thus include Form 2, Form 4 for the donor fitness, and Form 11 which is a joint application filled by donor and recipient, and the permission which is given in Form 6. Other than near relative donor, all donors except those identified under near related donors come under this category. Permission in such cases is granted only by authorization committee. This category is the most controversial as there is a possibility of monetary transaction in case of donation from a poor person or to a rich recipient, where the rich person can coerce the poor donor to donate his or her organ against his will in order to get some money in exchange. The Transplantation Act has made several provisions to avoid organ trade. The donor-recipient interview is recorded. When the proposed donor and the recipient are not near relative, the authorization committee evaluates that there is no commercial transaction between the recipient and the donor. It will prepare an explanation of the link between them and the circumstances which led to the donation of the organ. It will examine the reason why the donor wishes to donate the organ. It will also examine the documentary evidence of the link between the donor and the recipient, whether they have lived together or not. It will examine old photographs shows that the donor and the recipient were together. It will evaluate that there is no middle person involved. It will evaluate financial status of the donor and the recipient. Also, it will ensure that the donor is not a drug addict. Form 4 for the donor fitness and Form 11 which is joint application and the committee permission. The committee grant permission in the format given in the Form 19 for other than near related person. In the case when the donor or recipient from other state. When the living donor is unrelated and if the donor or recipient belongs to a state other than the state where the transplantation is to be undertaken. Verification of the residential status and the state or domicile of the donor or recipient is required as per the Form 20. Foreign donors. All such cases are dealt by authorization committee. In case of a foreign donor donating to their relative their organs in India, the transplantation is permitted only in near related donors. Indian living donors wanting to donate to a foreigner other than near relatives shall not be considered. In case of foreigners coming for transplantation in India, for example, donor and recipient being foreigners, the transplantation is permitted in India with permission from a senior embassy official of the country of origin who certifies the relationship between the donor and recipient. And in a case a country does not have an embassy in India, the certificate of relation is issued by the government of that country. For all living donation, the donor is subject to all such medical tests to determine his or his biological capacity and compatibility to donate the organ. The physical and mental evaluation of the donor should be certified by the registered medical practitioner in Form 4. Donation of the organ by pledge. People can place their organ during their lifetime if they want their organ to be used after his death. For this, they need to fill the pledge form, which is mentioned in Form 7. After certification of brain stem death of the person, it is now mandatory for the medical practitioner to ask the near relative or the other person who is having lawfully the body of the person in the presence, and the authority has been given in the presence of the two or more witnesses before his death. In Form 7, the removal of his or her organ or the tissue after his or her death only for the therapeutic purpose is permitted. Deceased donor. It is another source of organ. Deceased donation can be either after brain death or brain stem death or after cardiac death is permitted. Brain death is defined as there is no activity of the brain. Brain activity has been ceased and it is a clinical diagnosis. It is generally declared in patient on ventilator where the GCS shows 3/15. The presence of brain stem reflexes is checked, meaning thereby in the case if there is a death of a person due to brain known as a brain stem death, in that case the organ or the tissue of that person may be given to the other recipient or the other person who is in need. But it has to be certified by a panel of doctor. In that panel, the hospital administrator, resident doctor of the hospital, neurologist, neurosurgeon, or the person or the doctor who has treated that person will be included there. And here the organs or the tissue may be transplanted to the other person from the body of the person whose body is not claimed by any near relative person, and that body is lying in the prison or hospital. In that case also the organs or tissues may be transplanted to other person. Sometime the body is sent to the postmortem for medical legal purpose or some pathological purpose. In that case also the organs or tissue may be transplanted, removed and transplanted to the other body if it is satisfied that the body will not be used for that purpose which is sent for that purpose which is sent uh, for which the body has been sent for postmortem. The which organs or tissue can be donated? Here it is mentioned as per Form 7: heart, lungs, kidney, liver, pancreas or any other, eye tissues, bone, skin, tendons, cornea, eyeballs, heart balls, blood vessels and any other. As per Form 7 it can be donated. The procedure for removal of human organ. Section 3 subclause 1A, Section 3 subclause 1B says about the procedure for removal of human organ or the tissue or both. It imposes the duty of the registered medical practitioner. What is the duty of the medical practitioner who is registered one? And the duty of the registered medical practitioner of the hospital where who is working in ICU. So section 3 subclause 1B says that it is the duty under section 3 subclause 1A, subclause 1, subclause 2, subclause 3 on the registered medical practitioner. The first duty for the removal of the human organs or tissue or both, or for the storage or transplantation of such human or organ or tissue or both. It shall be the duty of the registered medical practitioner in consultation with the transplant coordinator. Here the registered medical practitioner is working in ICU. He has to consult with the transplant coordinator to establish from the person who is admitted in to the ICU or from his near relative that such person had authorized at any time before his death for the removal of his human organ or tissue or both under section 3 subclause 1. Second, it is the duty of the registered medical practitioner to consult with transplant coordinator and to establish that whether there is any authority for the removal of the organ or tissue is there or not. This authority will be asked from the person who is admitted in ICU or from such near relative person. Then the hospital shall proceed to obtain the documentation for authorization. Where no written authority was made for the donation of the organ or tissue by such person in the presence of the in the presence of witnesses, the registered medical practitioner shall aware that person or near relative for the option to authorize or decline for donation of human organ or tissue or both. Third, registered medical practitioner shall make aware the hospital to inform the human organ removal center for removal, storage or transplantation of human organs or tissue or both of the donor as identified in section 3 subclause 1A, subclause 1 and subclause 2. I just repeat the what what duty a registered medical practitioner have? The registered medical practitioner is having a first duty to consult with the transplant coordinator to establish from the person who is in ICU or from his near relative that is there any authority to remove the human organs or tissue. Second, if there is no authority, in that case registered medical practitioner will aware the near related person of that person that you may go for donation of the organs or tissue. If it is done, in that case registered medical practitioner shall inform the hospital to inform the human organ removal center to remove the organ, to store the organ and to transplant the organs. Section 3 subclause 1 subclause B. It imposes duty on the registered medical practitioner of the hospital who is working in ICU. The duty imposed by section 3 subclause 1A shall apply on the registered medical practitioner working in an intensive care unit in the hospital whether they are registered or not under this act for the purpose of removal, storage and transplantation of human organ or tissue or both. Although in this act says that only those hospitals can conduct the activity of removal or transplantation or storage of the human organ or the tissues which are registered under this act. But here this section is says that the duty which is imposed on the registered medical practitioner impose on those whether the hospitals are registered or not, but if they are working in ICU they are having a duty which is mentioned under section 3 subclause 1A. That is he has to consult with the transplant coordinator and to ask from the near relative person whether there is any authority or not. Or if there is no authority, so they will make aware the near relative person that you can donate the organs. Section 7. Section 7 is talking about preservation of human organs or tissue or both. After the removal of any organ or tissue or both from the body of any person, the registered medical practitioner shall have the duty to take necessary prescribed steps for the preservation of the human organ or tissue or both so removed. Meaning thereby that after the removal of the human organ, it is the duty of the registered medical practitioner to preserve the human organs or tissue or both. For this they have to make a necessary steps. Regarding this, there is one case, that is the Mukesh Gandhi versus Deputy Secretary. In 2009, Gujarat High Court has given the decision that it is not necessary that the moment a human organ is removed, it is immediately transplanted into the body of the recipient. In a given case, the organ itself may require its preservation or maybe some other purpose is required, some other process is required to be undertaken before its transplantation into the body of the recipient. Therefore, if a situation of the preservation of a human organ through accepted scientific method is conceived under the act, there is no reason to rule out the possibility of the transplantation of such a human organ after some time, and such may also include the transplantation thereof by another recognized hospital. As such, there cannot be compulsion on the part of the recipient to have the liver transplanted in the very hospital where it has been harvested. meaning thereby it is not necessary that only that hospital will transplant the human organ or tissue where it can be done by the another hospitals. Finally, after the we can say after the final decision of the authorization committee, appropriate committee, competent committee, advisory committee, transplantation will be done as per the procedure which is prescribed in this act. The next topic I will discuss regarding the regulation of hospitals, constitution of several committees, the authorities and the offences which is prescribed under this act for the violation of the provision of this act. That will be known as a part 3. Thank you very much.